Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the show. This is Reservations, and I'm Rain Whalen.
And I don't think tomatoes are fruits.
I love the names that are just sentences. Uh, that would have been a good one, like when we did. Oh fuck. Where your name was like Akimov Leibowitz.
Yeah.
And Future Rain just is like, yeah, not even gonna try to spell that.
Yeah, no, can't do it.
That would have been really good. But
Yeah.
Tomatoes. Aren't they? No. Aren't they fruit? Yeah, they are fruits.
They are fruits.
Technically, yeah. Which is weird.
That's what the government wants you to think. All right.
Yeah, that's what those pencil pushers at Big Vegetable want you to think.
That's what Big Vegetable wants. That's what Big Ketchup wants. All right.
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
Dude,
Okay.
Oh yes, you said you had something really exciting. To talk about.
Okay. So, yesterday, I watched Pink Flamingos.
Oh god, did you vomit?
No, but I did. My tummy wasn't at its best.
Oh no.
It is. John Waters has created this thing that is so unbelievably camp, and I think it's on purpose. Like, the entire movie, people are over-explaining, right? It's just like all of their dialogue is exposition, right? Which is funny, right? The whole movie is very darkly funny. Divine is amazing, of course, but there are some scenes that, I mean, my jaw dropped. Like, I could not believe it. Yeah. And then there are some aspects of the movie, and I'm like, what is this? What is happening? And then, like, yeah. Listen, you gotta see it, okay? It is a very unique experience. And it'll make you feel gross. Like, I felt gross. Like, it it's just so grimy and surreal, yeah.
How many times did you have to shower afterwards?
I mean, no, right? But
you
it's
just
like,
sat in it?
yeah, I had to. It was like, I just couldn't believe it, And I'm like, it just felt like a movie that this is what I thought movie making was. Like, when I was a kid, like, if you see like a low budget film, like, I assumed it's just like a guy and his buddies making a movie, right? And that is what this is. Like, I don't think there's like grips and lighting guys and there's like, it's literally John Waters and his friends making a movie. And it totally makes sense once you see it, because he used to say that he would be driving around Baltimore and he would see like a billboard, or he would see something, he would get an idea for a movie, they would shoot it that day.
Amazing.
The whole thing. And then whatever. Like, you can tell.
Yeah. Well, and I was telling Mom about our last week's episode about Kronos, and how you brought up the fact that Guillermo was 29 when he made that movie. I was like, dude, he was only 3 years younger than us. And she was like, so what you're saying is you have no excuse? I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. But back to Pink Flamingos, and it's crazy that movie is also widely regarded as a masterpiece. Like, there's a reason.
Yeah, because what John Waters represents is counterculture. And this movie is counterculture. It is an offense to any mainstream Hollywood movie. Like, this is the exact opposite of all of it. And that's exactly what he wants to do. And he's succeeded. I mean, there are some things that are just horrendous. And then the final shot, of course, is infamous. Oh, uh, oh man. Oh.
Well,
Uh,
and I was gonna say, like, there's a reason Criterion released it, and there's a reason. I think it was the Hollywood Reporter that Scott sent me an article of like the 100 best movies that you should see, and Pink Flamingos was on
yeah,
there.
I mean, I don't
And
disagree. I think that it is absolutely worth your watch because it is an example of just guerrilla filmmaking, counterculture, and it is. I mean, oh man, there's just no words to describe Pink Flamingos. It does open, by the way, the before it gets to the movie, it does indicate that it is a part of the National Film Registry, um, in
wow.
the Library of Congress. So, um,
And do you think because it's so shocking is the reason why it's stuck with people for so long?
I think so. And again, it's just like he's doing it as sort of performance art. Like it is meant to be shocking. He's not doing it because he's bad at it. He's doing it
Hmm.
because he's trying to subvert mainstream Hollywood filmmaking, and that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
And he's also putting in, um, sort of the countercultures of the time, you know,
Hmm.
um, and the ones that he's a part of himself, right? He wants to have them
Yeah.
represented in his movies. Oh man, it's shocking, but and I'm not being hyperbolic. Like there were moments in this movie where I'm like, oh my god, you know, like you know, it's crazy, and the fact that it's real because they don't have the money for it not to be. So
Yeah.
like, there's no faking some of this stuff, and especially the final shot is 100% real. You can look it up. It's whatever. I won't describe what it is here because you need to be surprised, but um, it was strategic, kind of, but it was real. And it's just like, for what? You know, John
Well,
Waters is amazing. Like I need to see more of his movies. I need to see like Female Trouble and Polyester and um,
I've
a few
um
others.
I've thought about getting the other Criterion releases of his films, but I was like, let me see Pink Flamingos first, and then we'll decide if I want to waste the time
It's wild.
on
It's
another one.
absurd. I mean,
Well,
just the premise is absurd. You know?
and
Um,
aren't you glad you have a whole room dedicated to just you can just be alone and watch a movie?
yeah, because like if this were my dad, um, it's a garage door down sort of a movie. You know?
Uh, that's so good. Yeah, see, for me, when the day finally comes, if Ashley and I are still living in this apartment, I'll just have to essentially sequester her in the bedroom and be like, "Hey, don't come in here. If you need anything, I will get it for you." But yeah, man, I'm glad that you finally experienced this for yourself.
Yeah, I feel like I'm not doing
um,
anything else. You know what I mean? This is.
well, I mean, yeah,
I mean, I did finally get a job, but I
I
don't
was gonna
start for
say,
another week.
yeah, you've got about a week before, so you gotta
Yeah,
get all this stuff out now.
and I will say also, this is also big news for people who know me. So, as you know, um, I am allergic to peanuts and tree nuts, right?
Hmm.
So I also have exciting news for people that know me personally, is that that I'm allergic to peanuts and tree nuts and things like that.
Yes.
So on Halloween, I picked up a Heath bar because I've been getting Heath in my ice creams lately.
Uh huh.
God, I love Heath toffee; it's the best. Um, and then I look on the back and I see that it contains almonds, right?
Oh shit.
And I was like, oh, well, that's interesting. So the next day, I bought a bag of almonds and I ate a couple and I was completely fine.
Oh,
And so
interesting.
hold on.
Okay.
So I've been eating almonds. It's been amazing. I've missed almonds. yesterday and today, I've had a combination of about 10 pecans, and I'm perfectly fine. So, since I was 17, I haven't been eating any peanuts or tree nuts, almonds, cashews, whatever. But now I'm getting to see that maybe I was never allergic to all of them. I was just allergic to peanuts, maybe. Um, and so yeah, that's it's pretty exciting stuff, man. I've
Yeah. Well, I
it's a
was
big
gonna
life
say
update.
if you tell me, I was gonna be like, if you utter the words, so I've been eating Reese's cups, I was gonna lose my mind. Like,
No,
but no, that's cool. That's cool, man. Okay. Heath is not my go-to um candy bar, so I didn't even know they also had almonds in it.
didn't know.
Um, but that's what's up, man.
I know. Big life update.
When you start your new job, maybe once you got your health insurance, you can be like, you know what, I'm gonna go to uh, an uh, an allergy doctor and be like, hey, test me for nuts.
Yeah, test me again.
Do it again.
You got it wrong.
Uh, Imagine it's your mom just been gaslighting you since you were 17.
I know,
Like,
right?
no, you're allergic to nuts.
It's almost been half my life that I haven't had any sort of mixed nut. Uh,
Yeah.
and I'm just so happy that I can have like, dude, like the honey roasted pecans that you can get like in the cones, you know,
Uh-huh. Oh yeah,
the paper cones. Holy shit, I can't wait.
dude. And also, I'd like to say that you decided to test this theory by buying a bag of almonds. Were you home alone?
No,
Oh, okay. I was gonna be like, dude, if you tested this theory while Haley was at work, absolute uh insanity. You're like, all right, I'm gonna see if I'm still allergic to nuts. No one's home to help me.
yeah, no. I and I have Benadryl on the counter because I'm testing these things out. So, but so far so good. You know what I mean? So it's a pretty exciting time.
Yeah, that's rad, man. Now, whenever we come see you, I'm gonna start bringing you almond joys.
Oh, I do. Yep, I love me an almond
Yeah,
joy.
uh, or or mounds because Ashley loves almond joys as well.
I love almond
Uh,
joys.
Dude, last thing on candy bars, and then we'll move on.
Yeah.
I do not like almond joys because
Okay.
it's the texture of coconut. I do not like.
Oh, I like the ketchup. I like it.
I
That's yeah.
I like the flavor of coconut, like coconut water. I jam with, but
Yeah.
the texture of coconut flakes, like that's why I don't fuck with German chocolate. Now fuck
Sure.
that shit. German chocolate made by an Englishman with the last name of German. Um, but anyway, so since no one at all saw our Kronos episode last week, it has 2 views. And I'm pretty sure this is you and I.
I don't know. I didn't post about it this time. I
Oh,
completely forgot to, and so no, I wasn't one of them. So
I know it was me because I usually will watch the video just to make sure, even though I'm watching the edit when I'm editing the episodes, I still like to make sure it uploaded properly.
sure, that makes sense.
So hopefully maybe it was Zach. I'm sure it was Zach.
Or
Maybe
my
I don't know.
mother-in-law.
Or yeah.
Yeah.
But since no one watched it, Jeremy, what are we talking about today?
Okay. So today we are discussing Sergio Leone's final film in his 1984 magnum opus, epic gangster film, Once Upon a Time in America.
Yeah, and here's a little inside baseball. We almost changed the episode.
We did almost change
after we announced it.
As soon
After
as you
we
clicked
cut.
it, as soon as I said it, I was like, I kind of have buyer's remorse because I was like, maybe we should have done Once Upon a Time in the West, and but I mean, it's not like this is our last episode. I mean, we'll
Yeah, and we could definitely do Once Upon a Time in the West and Duck You Sucker.
yeah.
But I'm glad we decided to continue with this one. And also, I should have said at the top show, sorry everyone, this episode's coming out a little bit later. Ashley wasn't feeling too good when we normally record. She was feeling really overwhelmed and just had a headache. So I was like, need to take care of my wife. But anyway, but yeah, I'm glad we decided to stick it out, because this is a very, like your text, I have a lot of opinions on this movie as well.
Yeah, I have,
Um,
surprising opinions about this movie. I was going into it thinking, oh, this is gonna be a slam dunk. Like,
yeah.
I'm gonna watch this. It's gonna become my obsession for a while, because I feel like I'm gonna love it. And I
Had
don't feel that way.
you never seen it before this?
No.
Oh, cool. So first watch for the both of us.
Yeah, this was on my list because I was like, it's one of those like American classics that I just haven't seen.
Uh-huh.
And I have a poster of it, and it seems pretty,
Pretty fake fan that
pretty
you
fake
have a
fan
poster.
that
Yeah,
I
but
have a poster for.
yeah, and so I'm glad we stuck with it. But yeah, it was something. I do want to go ahead and get right off the rip. I did really enjoy it. I loved the back and forth of the timelines.
Mm-hmm.
I love the ambiguity of a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
I love the mystery element. There was a lot I really loved. A lot of it I found very icky, which I even texted you about.
Yeah.
And thank God there were body doubles.
Yeah.
And I even was doing a lot of like Googling about certain scenes, which we'll get into later. But all in all, I did enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see the restored director's cut now.
Yeah, I think they add 20-30 minutes in that one, so we'll see. I mean, I don't know if it needs anything added, me personally, because it's almost 4 hours to begin with.
Yeah.
But my first impressions, again, like, I was really enjoying it. I loved the structure. I loved that we kick off in the middle, then we go straight to the end, and then we throw ourselves into the beginning. I mean, I love it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really interesting. I like when we get to retroactively think back about the beginning, and then we have a lot more understanding about what was going on and all these people that they're talking about that we haven't met yet. And it finally makes sense and comes full circle. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
The performances are spectacular.
Oh yeah, 110%.
I know James Woods regards this as one of his favorite performances. I really like James Woods in this. He's he's perfect for it. It was nice to see Joe Pesci.
Yeah, dude, when he popped up, I was like, "Hey!"
That's cool.
Yeah.
However, there are moments in this film that, and we're definitely going to talk about it because it might become the whole episode, because I found it so deeply upsetting.
Okay.
And it never comes back up as a problem for Noodles. Therefore, it shouldn't have been there. And I hated Noodles after that. And and because I hated him, I did not care about him at all. And we're continuing to follow him. So let me try to do a synopsis real quick, and then we'll get into my issues.
If I were you, I'd probably do the synopsis in chronological order.
We'll
that
try.
might streamline things for you.
So the story follows really Noodles and his gang of friends. You have Max, you have Cockeye, you have Patsy, and the other one. I don't remember the other one's name. The one who dies.
Yeah, here, I got you. You keep talking.
So they grow up and they are living in 1920 in Brooklyn, New York. And at least it looked like Brooklyn to me. And they are running booze for some bootlegger to make some money. and they decide to cut him off and he'll go work for someone else because they got this idea of how to smuggle booze um, underwater, which is kind of cool. And so they go into business with this guy, but kind of for themselves, and so that's kind of exciting. However, um, the guy that they worked for previously tracked them down and tried to kill all of them, killed one. Noodles stabs him to death and also stabs a cop to death as he's being reprimanded for stabbing the guy they're working for. So Noodles goes to prison for 13 years. It is now 1932. He gets out of prison and he reunites with his old friends, Max, Cockeye, and Patsy.
Dominic
died. Thank you. And they now run a speakeasy. We're nearing the tail end of Prohibition. They don't know that yet, but we do. And so Noodles gets right back in and enjoys his life of crime with his old pals, right? And it then becomes just a montage of moments of, you know, Noodles trying to get acclimated back into society and, you know, getting back into crime, getting back into, you know, bootlegging and, you know, running booze and running a speakeasy and all that. And also robbing and pillaging and whatever. However, he eventually, you know, starts butting heads with Max. Max is, you know, now the leader. He runs everything. Everybody listens to him. They all look up to him. And Noodles was that in 1920.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a little bit of friction. A bunch of stuff happens. A lot of it isn't really relevant to the overall story and the overall arc of Noodles. But it ends up that he rats on his friends. He rats on Max, Cockeye, and Patsy, and he splits. And he later comes back to New York in 1968, and because he heard that they had died in 1933, all three of them. And so he goes to see his old pal that owned the building that they ran the speakeasy out of, and he went to go visit their graves. But he got this this letter from a senator, right? That he was invited to this party, and he's sort of taken aback by that because if someone knew to send it to him where he was, that means people know where he is, and that not only do they know where to find him, but they know who he is, right? And when he goes to the senator's party, it's Max. Max did not die. Somehow faked his death, I know. However, instead of seeking revenge, Max is sort of looking for a way out, in a sense, which is sort of bizarre, and, you know, Noodles doesn't know what to do with that. He's just, you know, he's sort of still in shock that his friend Max is still alive, and that Max has just had enough, and he wants Noodles to kill him, basically. He then, it is ambiguous if he jumps into this wood chipper truck thing. At the very end, the movie ends back in 1933, where Noodles is hanging out at a Chinese opium den, hiding out from the people that, you know, are looking for him because he ratted on his pals. He takes a hit of opium. He looks up at the ceiling. He smiles, and that's Once Upon a Time in America.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sergio Leone has said that it is not out of the realm of possibilities that you can frame the whole thing as an opium hallucination.
Yes, I have it pulled up.
What a waste of time.
Yeah, I have it pulled up that yeah, that's a possibility, and Sergio Leone liked that idea. Um, that like film historians have said that like opium causes like vivid dreams and vivid hallucinations. So
Yeah.
it could be that Noodles was just envisioning what the next 30 years are going to look like.
Right.
Um,
Or, what his life would be if, like, because obviously he did, because he already ratted on his friends by then. So, I mean, I don't know. But, okay. I left out a couple of people so we can
well,
talk
there's
about
a
it.
lot. There's
Well, I left out a couple of
there's
people so we can talk about it now because
okay.
um the reason why I'm having such a hard time saying I like this movie is as a kid, Noodles was, hold on, let me get this name right or I'm going to lose my mind. So his friend Mo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who later runs the tavern that they have the speakeasy in. It's his
Mm-hmm.
family's place, and when they're kids, Mo is working there, and his sister also works there, Deborah. Okay,
Yeah.
played by an 11-year-old Jennifer Connelly in 1920. Right,
Yeah.
it's her first movie ever. That's super fun. Noodles is obsessed with Deborah. He's in love with her. Okay, hard not to be. It's Jennifer Connelly. Okay,
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Now,
I mean, there's a reason Paul Bettany married her.
in 1933, no, 1932, when he's out of prison,
Mm-hmm.
when he reconnects with everyone, he reconnects with Deborah. Okay, and he is wanting. Obviously, he wants to have a relationship with her. Duh.
Yeah.
Right. Um, and they have this nice dinner. They're discussing their futures and what Noodles is going to do, what she wants to do, and ultimately she decides that she wants to stick with her dancing. She's a dancer, a ballet dancer, and she wants to stick with it. Go to New York or leave New York and go pursue it. Right.
Yeah. She wants to go to. I'm assuming you're referring to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. She wants to go to Hollywood to be an actor.
Right. And in the car ride home, Noodles rapes Deborah.
Yeah.
And it is horrific. It is graphic. It is unsettling. It is it's monstrous. And this was sort of like the last straw for me because Noodles had already raped Carol. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Um at the when they were robbing the bank or whatever it was.
Yeah. Well, yeah. When there was the diamond heist. Yeah.
Right, the diamond heist. And Noodles rapes this woman. We don't know who she is, right?
Yeah.
Um, and later on, she comes back and she ends up being in a relationship with Max, and it was like she was sort of like she's into it, like she kind of liked it or whatever. Like it was so bizarre.
I
So,
was gonna say that one.
well, okay,
I mean, he definitely rapes her, but that one I feel like was much more performative.
in a
In a
way,
sense.
because like I'm sorry, not Deborah, Carol, it's not like she was in on it, right? Because they had to remind her of who they are, right? Because when she
Yeah.
comes back, they're like, I don't know who these people are. And then, they put the bandanas on and she goes, oh, right. So I'm already sort of not liking that Sergio Leone has now had this be okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't a fan of that. But, I was like, whatever. Like, I didn't like it, but I guess it seems to be fine in the story, whatever. But when he rapes Deborah, okay, it is horrific. Like it upset me so much. And I I was like, what is this for? Right? And it ultimately ends up being sort of a a plot device for Noodles to reconnect with her in 1968 and there be tension between them and
Uh-huh.
sort of a lost love between them. And they could have picked anything else. Like anything else. Like he could have promised to stop doing crime and she catch him doing a robbery
Doing crime.
or doing crime. And then boom, it's done. It's over. And then it's like, oh, he lost the love of his life and he really screwed it up and whatever. Because the movie's not saying he did this awful, awful crime and, you know, he is paying for it, you know, with all of these, you know, whatever going his way, right? Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what this movie is saying. This movie is saying that there is a tension and lost love between them. Or that there is. Stop, it's fine. That there is, like, you know, this sort of like. This weird sort of like. I don't know how to describe it. Like, it's like he screwed up in the past and he's sorry for it, right? And then she's still not over it. She's not going to forgive him. This is not that. This is horrific. And so, like, when I saw that, ruined the entire movie for me. I could not focus on anything else. And it's because it's treated as, oops, I screwed up, right?
Uh-huh.
And from then on, I didn't give a shit about Noodles anymore. Like, he could go to prison, he could die, he could go off into the sunset, he could whatever, I don't care. You know?
Yeah.
Not that I didn't already know, of course, because of the beginning, but you know, and I'm going to try my very best to describe to you and to the people listening what the difference is, because I feel people saying, didn't you do an episode on Irreversible? Right?
Yeah.
Haven't you done movies where, you know, there is rape, right? Haven't you done Come and See? You know, haven't you done these other movies? Yes. Okay. And here's the difference for me. Irreversible, that is the entire point of the film, right? Yes.
Yeah.
It is horrible to watch. It is uncomfortable. It's unimaginable. You know, it's shot in such a way that, I mean, it's so realistic that it's surreal, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, the film has represented this act to be monstrous. This, what happened to her is now the entire first part of the movie. Like, this is why the characters devolve in such a fashion to where, like, Vincent Cassell's character cannot cope with what happened to his girlfriend and needs vengeance because it was so awful, right?
Yeah.
Come and See. It's awful, right? It is framed and portrayed as horrible. Okay? I'll give you another one that we haven't done. Last House on the Left.
Oh, shit.
That is also, it is the act of this horrible sexual assault, this rape, is shown and is portrayed to be horrible, horrific, monstrous, and that's where the revenge comes from the family, right? This is not that. This is a, oops, I screwed up that one time, you know, and I couldn't get over it. I did not like it, and I'm trying to like why it upset me so much, because I was really affected by it this time.
I maybe I can help. So first I want to say, after the scene was over, it upset me too. And I like that we do get a little bit of respite where, you know, he pays the driver, you know, or he's going to pay the driver, says, take her home. And the driver pretty much is like, fuck you, keep your money.
Right.
I'm taking her home.
Yeah.
You know? So even the driver recognizes fuck you, dude.
Of course.
But I was reading that because the movie was shot in 1982, 1982,
Probably.
three,
It came out in
four.
84.
Yeah, and if it took
So
them
I'm sure it took them
forever
a
to
while.
edit,
Yeah.
yeah.
Go on.
So let's just say 82. There weren't there weren't things there weren't no one was feeling safe on set, so I wanted to make sure. So I googled like how Elizabeth McGovern felt about the
Mhm.
scene,
Sure.
and she has come out and said that it was hard, but that she was ultimately happy with the outcome and apparently loved working with Robert. So I wanted to make sure that was fine first. Then I wanted to know more, and I read a little bit that was kind of meant to be sort of the culmination of Noodle's break in a way, because we'd already seen him pretty much assault Peggy. Granted, Peggy.
That's why I didn't mention Peggy.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say
Peggy's fine.
Peggy's fine, but then we see him assault Carol. But like I said, that was definitely much more performative. It is assault, but it did seem like Carol was kind of into it.
So weird. And that Carol is gross.
Yeah. Carol's a very but this was. So I think they were meant to show. I think what Sergio Leone was trying to show was Noodle's view of women, especially that of Deborah, is, well, if I can't have you in a loving way, then I'm just gonna take it.
Sure.
I guess. And that's how I kind of saw it, is that like Deborah was leaving him, so it was, well, then I'm just gonna take you because you're leaving me, you're leaving what we could have. But you're right. When they meet back up 35 years later, Deborah has just a normal conversation with him. They even wrote dialogue for Robert De Niro to say, like, aren't you going to ask me, how I'm doing, or if you look good, or get the hell out of my life.
Mm-hmm.
But Deborah continues to talk to him. And so I do agree with you that Noodles doesn't really get any sort of consequence for this. And like, I wanted there to be consequence. And we're going to, I want to bring something else up in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And also I love that we're kind of talking about this at the top, but I do agree with you that Noodles, now granted, I was still really invested in the mystery element. So I really wanted Noodles to figure out what the hell is going on.
Right. Because like, and I get that, because I was still intrigued. I mean, God help me if you ask me anything about Treat Williams's character, like Jimmy O'Donnell, I couldn't tell
Yeah.
you. I can't tell you a thing about why he was there, why he's important. Don't know.
He's the union organizer for the Teamsters.
Like it's just, like, well, who cares? Like I said,
Pause for
sure.
2 seconds. I'm just gonna make sure the bottom lock is locked, so that way Ashley can use her key because she's
Okay.
on her way home.
Yeah.
That way she can just come in and we can just keep rolling. Okay, we're good. Okay. All right. Go.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, there's so much in this movie that, which is fun to watch.
Yeah.
But it's sort of like ultimately, yeah, like it doesn't. I'm not saying it doesn't matter, because it does matter, because we're getting all of this all this stuff that he's doing with Max and with the crew, and how each time they're doing something, dynamics change and tensions start to rise. I get it, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
But like Jimmy O'Donnell, don't care.
Yeah, no. But yeah, no, I do get what you're saying about Noodles and not really caring anymore about, yeah, because I it was hard for me to want to pay attention to Noodles after that scene with Deborah, but yeah, you're right that I think if they stuck the landing with the message they were trying to say about this, about Noodles' relationship with sex and with women,
Mhm.
I think I think we could have really seen him face consequences for this, you know, um, which is a good segue, even though this is about the movie but not about the plot, which is the tension in the movie is fucking palpable, dude.
Yeah.
Like it literally was making me squirm. I was like, I don't like this. Something's gonna happen. I don't like this. Especially after the scene with Deborah and she leaves and goes to Hollywood. Um, and Noodles is back with the gang at the speakeasy, and Fat Mo's standing behind him with a pair of scissors, and all we can hear is the spoon scraping the inside of that coffee cup.
Mhm.
I was like, oh my god, what the like Mo knows.
Well, see, that's why. Okay, another problem I have is Mo is spineless, and like I, it makes like when I'm thinking back, after that scene, and then after the scene afterward, where it's sort of like a fake out, like you think Mo is gonna, retaliate, which he should,
Oh
um,
yeah,
and he doesn't. But then I'm thinking back to the beginning of the movie, and when he meets back up with Mo at the tavern, it's like they're old friends. Like, what are you talking about? You know,
yeah,
like why are they
yeah,
friends? Why is Mo talking? Like what a spineless, like weak man. I Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, no, the tension, like there's so many tense moments in this movie, and like, oh my god, when Noodles is looking for that guy after the diamond heist, I was like, dude, he could literally be fucking anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, the tension is so palpable and it's so good. Like, I'm not saying
Yeah.
it's bad.
Yeah.
Like, the tension is so good, and that also goes with sound design. Like, the most tense moments, we can only hear one sound. You know, with
Leone Sergio Leone is, I think, the master of tension and the master of editing. Because like when we did The Good, Mad, and the Ugly, right?
Mhm,
It's all about building tension through geography, knowing where people are,
mhm,
and playing with the geography with editing. And so like it's close ups, right? Um
mhm,
it's using people's eyes, it's using people's feet, it's using the space that they're in, and he's positioning the camera and switching back and forth in such unique ways that it does really fill you with so much tension and dread, like something is about to happen. And of course the sound design, you're right,
yeah,
is perfect for this, because it's almost like tinnitus, like it's almost like just a hum, of
mhm,
just one sound, and you're right, and it does make you feel uneasy.
yeah, yeah. I wanted to bring that up, especially that of the coffee cup, like, because again, I was like, Mo knows, the whole gang knows that he did that to Deborah. Um, like, oh my god, what are they gonna do? And then it just stops, and they're like, all right, so anyway, like back to business as normal.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
like, um, yeah, man, it's so good. But I wanted to bring that up now, and then that way we could move on to James Woods, man, because look, I think we've sung Robert De Niro's praises. Not enough. I think we've sung them. I'm not saying that like I will not continue to sing Robert De Niro's praises, but I think we've done enough episodes where like people know we love Robert De Niro.
Yeah, he's great.
But James Woods, I feel like we haven't done a lot of movies where we don't talk about James Woods as enough. I think the most was Chaplin, really.
Oh, yeah.
James Woods is awesome.
Yeah.
Granted, don't get me wrong. I learned a lot of upsetting things today about his personal politics and his stances on things, and that really bummed me out.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But in context of this film, God, he crushes it.
He's good.
He's so good. He's so terrifying. He's so funny. Like he to use another Robert De Niro film that we've already done. Goodfellas. James Woods is the Joe Pesci of this movie.
Yeah. No,
Like,
yeah, because he is very calm until he snaps, right? I mean, it just seems like he's sort of like a powder keg. He's just waiting to go off. He's really good. Also, he was in Casino. So good at Casino.
Oh my God, that's right.
Remember?
He is.
Because he was Sharon Stone's like pimp or whatever.
Dude.
Or just dirtbag ex-boyfriend. Yeah, he is awesome. I love James Woods. His acting.
His acting.
His acting.
I think we've said it on the show, if not by far. Maybe you might agree with me. I think his best role is Hades in Hercules.
I think he would probably agree with you.
Like, it's so good. Like the fact that I've seen interviews of him being like, yeah, they had people coming in and being like, oh, I'm Hades, and he's like, hey, I'm Hades. How are you doing? Like, it's just so good. James's acting is so good. And yeah, I love how the character of Max was written. When we see him as a kid, obviously there's this sort of antagonistic relationship with Noodles, and then they get to know one another, and it is sort of like brothers in arms kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then they become young men, and Max, like you said during the synopsis, Max is running the show now, and he's calling the shots. And Max is still doing what he's always been good at, which they established really early on, is he's a schemer, and he knows how to make a really good plan. And I love that we get a hint of that when they were kids, when Noodles and Max fall into the river, and somehow Max is back on the boat.
Yeah.
Like, how did he get up there that quickly? And, so I think the character of Max, he was written for James Woods, is I think what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, I agree. And you're right. The character of Max when they were kids, I like how you're right. Like Max sort of takes their mark and steals that guy's pocket watch and his money or whatever it was. And when Noodles confronts him about it, there is this moment of animosity, and they're obviously basically fighting over turf. But
Yeah.
once they're clocked by the beat cop, immediately it's hey man, we're we may not like each other right now, but this is a common enemy. I just love the quick like I gave it to him. That's my uncle right there. Like that's immediately have each other's back, and I love that because it's like the kids living out here in the streets and like doing all this petty crime bullshit. Like there's sort of like an honor in in this world.
It really is honor among thieves. And so that's something that I feel like in gangster films we hear a lot of, are like the street urchins, specifically that of New York, running around New York, you know, doing odd jobs for gangsters, and we see that in Goodfellas, even though that's not New York. It's in, what was it, like Long Island or something like that?
I mean, Long Island is New York.
Yeah, but it's Long Island. But we don't really get to see like the almost Dickensian, like, these are kids running the streets, truly running the streets. I mean that metaphorically and literally. They are on the streets looking for marks, but they also know the streets like the back of their hand. They know, like, like the first time we meet Max, Noodles clocks that carriage coming, like, oh, the carriage is going to block us. Like,
Right.
we just got to time it. It's, and I that was something I really loved seeing. And I love that we get these flashbacks to their childhood at sort of pivotal moments when Noodles is remembering.
Yeah.
Um,
I think there's something very authentic about the kids just, being their kids, right? Literally. It's so much so that they have to use a body double for Jennifer Connelly.
Oh my god,
Which,
dude!
I know, it's gross, and I looked it up immediately. I'm like, there's no way. And
yeah, I was
God,
like,
there's no way.
I was like,
Yeah.
like I was watching some of it at work, and I did that. I was like, and everyone was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, yeah, don't worry about it. And then later on, one of my coworkers, or the other closer, was like, "Hey, like, were you okay? It sounded like you almost threw up." And I was like, "Look, okay,
Here's
like,
what
there's this
happened.
movie, like, here's what's going on." Like, and even she was like, "Oh, please tell me it was a body double." I'm like, "I fucking hope so."
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And it was.
Thank God.
But then there's something like, it was very reminiscent to me of the same feeling I got when we watched Kids.
Oh yeah. Oh dude.
I felt that way through most of this portion of the film, where these kids are very authentically kids, but they're doing such
Adult
adult
things.
things, right? Like, especially with what's her, Peggy.
Yeah.
She's gross, but I also appreciated that that at least there's a line being drawn with grown men, um with grown men having sex with minors. Thank God. There's the line.
Yeah.
The beat cop,
Yeah.
truly shocking. I was like, what is happening? Like,
yeah, I was like, wait, what are we seeing here? Why is he up on the roof?
Yeah.
And then when it cuts to, I was like, oh.
And it's nice to know
okay.
that it was blackmailable. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Like, it was, thank God people thought of it as a problem in 1920. Like, it's a bigger deal for him to, be like, hey, we have these pictures. He's like, whoa, hey, all right, whatever you want. Thank God.
Yeah.
And also, they could have picked anybody for Peggy. And you know what? This movie's body positive, and I appreciate that. Yeah, Peggy is not your traditional prostitute.
Yeah. Can I say, I didn't realize that's what Patsy was doing when he was buying the cream. Yeah. He's like, yeah, but she'll only give you a hand job. I'm not gonna do that myself. I was like, what? And then I was like, oh my god, he's going to see Peggy. Oh.
Yeah.
Dude, insane. And then, but I do love that. Do love that when they're adults, Peggy has become a madam of the house.
Yeah.
I kind of love that. I was like, you know what? Way to go, Peggy!
Yeah,
Like
I
you did
like
it.
that they maintained a relationship with Peggy, you know?
Yeah,
Um, good for her, you know? Um,
yeah. Especially considering she took two of the four's virginity.
yeah,
Or who knows? Maybe Patsy and Cockeye also.
probably.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I would
Um,
guarantee it.
okay. I want to I want to pivot real quick to the quote unquote vacation
Okay.
that Max and Noodles go on to Florida
Ugh, with Carol.
with Carol.
Ugh.
Um, and then we meet Eve, which is Noodles' new woman, which
Right,
is
and I think she's the one in the beginning who,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. She gets killed at the beginning.
Mhm.
So sad for Eve.
Yeah, poor Eve.
Um, I know, but anyway, I love that this sequence almost is implied that Noodles and Max are sort of restoring their friendship.
Mhm.
You know, that we've been seeing all this tension through, Max running the gang the way that Noodles probably wouldn't have, and, making a lot of decisions that Noodles definitely disagrees with. Um, but it was sort of like, hey, you and I, like, let's get out of here. Like, let's go hang out. Like, let's essentially refine our friendship. And it's almost, to me at least, implied that it was working until the news that prohibition was ending,
Mhm.
and then that's what sort of sets Max off,
Yeah.
because then he immediately has the idea for the for the sorry, that was my phone, for the Federal Reserve.
Mhm.
He And this is where we also learn the whole he doesn't like to be called crazy, which I felt like is very odd character development that we're just now learning.
Yeah.
Um, like when did we establish that he doesn't like to be called crazy? Um, but it's such an interesting sequence because apart from that, we do learn that Max is easily triggered by being called crazy. Um, but that this one act essentially now is throwing another wrench in their friendship, you know?
Well, because Noodles thinks it's too ambitious.
Yeah.
They're gonna get caught, you know? And my God, popular.
That's my
Um,
dad.
oh, okay. Um, and he's wanting really okay. This sort of like when we start the movie, we're like Noodles is kind of a backstabbing piece of shit, right? Obviously, because he's ratted on his friends, these people are after him. He's got to leave New York, and he doesn't come back for 30 something years. And you're like,
Right.
man, it must have been a really big deal. Now that we're nearing the tail end of this movie, we're realizing that, well, he's still kind of backstabbing them a little bit, but really he's just like, he's worried about them.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't like the idea of the Federal Reserve, but he also understands that they will die, right?
Yeah.
If they try, because they're gonna get shot and killed. I mean, it's not even close. It's not even. And so he's really trying to protect them. I think he's trying to protect Max. He's trying to protect Cockeye and Patsy for sure.
Oh yeah. Well, and Carol is the one that comes to him with this idea,
Yeah.
like, which we learn part of Max's grand plan, to use a modern term, was to inception Carol and Noodles into doing that. But I will say, I do have a lot of questions about Max's overall kind of grand plan,
Right.
because I don't think the Federal Reserve was ever in question.
Hmm.
I think he wanted to use that, again to start to manipulate Carol and Noodles. Um, but like he had to have known that Patsy and Cockeye were going to get killed.
Mm-hmm.
And like, does he feel remorse over that?
I don't know, because like it's obvious that that Max is the one who took the money. Like he made
Mm-hmm.
sure that Noodles doesn't get the money. He's not gonna just run off with it. That's crazy. Um, and yeah, I mean Max is sort of ultimately the bad guy of this whole thing because he's manipulating everyone and set it all in motion that, this whole thing crumbles and falls apart. He gets to leave with the money, change his identity, become someone new, and Noodles has to flee because he is being hunted down. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and of course, Cockeye and Patsy, I don't remember what happened to them. I know they died, but I don't remember how. Um,
They're killed in the firefight
okay, yeah.
with the cops. But here's the other thing. Like I have I have so many questions about that too, because we open the film with the thugs trying to find Noodles.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, but didn't they work for did they work for Frankie, who randomly shows up when they agree to go to Florida?
Yeah.
Um do they work for Noodles and Max? Like, you know? Um and like did Max know that Noodles was gonna be able to make it out? Like, I'm not trying to poke holes in
No.
Max's
I
plan
no, I
here.
completely understand. I think it's like a very ambitious plan that actually did go Max's way. I think they were. It's sort of like yes, these guys work for the four of them, right? But if
Mm-hmm.
one of them betrays the other three, they no longer work for that one, you know?
Right.
And so I had no problem with that. That's fine.
Okay.
It's his own guys hunting him down, but it's because he betrayed their guys, right? Um,
Yeah.
and which he did, but whatever. Um, I'll tell you, okay, this movie is very serious, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, it's lighthearted in some cases, but it's very serious, and I would say 90% of the movie. The
Yeah.
silliest part of the movie for me that I am
I
like,
know what you're gonna say.
I'm like, what is this, slapstick? What are we doing? Is the baby switching?
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah, I
by the way, hilarious. Uh, and it
yeah,
works because,
that
like, I love that he's still Police Chief Aiello. It's Danny Aiello,
oh yeah.
Police Chief Aiello. And, he's just so excited to have a son. He's sort of a cartoon character, where he's got, like, those three daughters.
4 daughters.
Four daughters, and he doesn't respect them because they're not boys. That's funny to me. Um, and yeah, man, they switched the babies, and then they lost the key to it.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's
Uh
funny.
yeah. Yeah, I audibly laughed. I was like, especially when like Cockeye kind of like checks in on him, and they got like the bassinets like, all right,
Yeah,
you know, it's so good.
he's drinking the breast milk.
Yeah. Uh,
Silly.
but yeah, man, Max's plan is, I don't, okay. Now that I've said it, I think his plan was more so fake my death, get the million, reinvent myself. I don't think he really gave a shit if Noodles lived or died.
No, I don't think so either.
I'm sure he probably suspected Noodles will probably figure out some way to get out of this, but I don't care if he does or doesn't.
Right.
I think it was later because when he's Senator Bailey and he's being investigated because he doesn't let the mob ties go and is using mob muscle to get what he wants. Is when he and that's when he learns that Noodles is still alive. But it is an interesting thing where he wants Noodles to kill him, like because he doesn't see a way out of the investigations.
And maybe
I'm
he
just
does feel bad. Maybe he does feel bad that Cockeye and Patsy died, and that Noodles had to flee. And
Noodles didn't get the girl of his dreams. Well, also Noodles fucked that
that's
up.
Noodles'
But
step. But
yeah.
it's because he brings up the pocket watch again. And so it's like Max sort of has this remorse, I think, of ruining what could have been a lifelong friendship, right? What
Mm-hmm.
could have been like something so wholesome, and like they could have, you know, yeah, prohibition ended and that's a bummer, but they would have found something else, and I think he feels bad that he didn't try, like he didn't try to keep his friends together and go on to the next thing, um
Mm-hmm.
which probably would have been something horrible, and probably would have had something to do with manipulating um people during the Great Depression. I don't know,
Yeah.
but I think that that's sort of the whole thing at the end is he's being investigated. There's no way out, but also it's like all for what? He
Mm-hmm.
did all this, and he's got this nice house, and he's a senator, and um, he's got secret passageways in his home. Pretty cool. Um, but
He's
for
got a
what?
son. Yeah.
Yeah, which I think is played by the same actor who plays
Yeah.
him. Yeah.
I had to look it up because he looked exactly like the kid that plays Danny in the 90s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I
Oh,
was like, is that the same? But no, this kid apparently stopped acting like after like 3 films and is like a lawyer now or some
oh,
shit.
cool.
Um,
Good
Now,
research.
I do want to mention, yeah, I do want to mention, I love the interaction between Noodles and Max meeting for the first time in 35 years. I love that Noodles continually calls him Mr. Bailey.
Yeah.
He doesn't call him Max. And I think by this point, before he even arrives, I think he's figured out it's probably Max.
Especially, I think as soon as he sees his son, he goes, "It's Max."
Yeah.
Um, it's not even a question. Like if that's Senator Bailey's son, that's Max.
Yeah. And I think he pretty much says, I think to him Max has been dead. Like, and it's not like well, he's dead to me. It's like, no, my friend died. And you are not my friend. You are this person I don't know. You owe me nothing. I owe you nothing. That's
Yeah,
why. And
yeah, no, I like that reading. I think you can do it any sort of way. I think that you could see it
well,
as sort of a callback to them having each other's backs, right?
mm-hmm,
In the very beginning of their relationship with the pocket watch. I think that, he continues to call him Mr. Bailey, Senator Bailey or whatever, um, because he doesn't want anyone to even, like, he doesn't want to even come close to someone hearing him call him Max, right?
mm-hmm,
Or whatever. Like, I think that you could read it that way. I like your interpretation that it is sort of he's not Max because Max, died in 33, right?
yeah,
Like whomever this is, Max or not, is Mr. Bailey.
yeah.
Um
Well, and
and
I also did some reading about also a little bit more about that, which I also like this too. A film critic described the twist of Max being there as a paradox, postulating that the whole film about how Noodles spends the second half of his life seeking out the truth of what happened, only to discover it, not accept it, and not investigate what happens to Max in the end.
mm,
And I kind of like that too.
mhm.
Is that maybe he genuinely does not know that this was Max the whole time. Seeing Max is like, no way that's Max. That's impossible. Like I saw his body. There's no way that's Max.
Mhm.
I like that too. I don't know if I like follow that. I do like my interpretation, which is he knows it's Max. He can clearly see it's Max, but Max has been dead.
It's really
And
interesting to think of that interaction as him just not No, and just being oblivious to it. Um,
Yeah.
it's not bad. Like I don't mind it at all. I think it's really interesting. Um, that what if Noodles literally doesn't realize it?
Yeah.
Um, however, some of the editing choices, especially when, like I said, when he sees Senator Bailey's son, like the editing choices in that moment leads the audience to suggest that he does know who it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and of course, using the same actor helps. Um, but which by the way, I like it
Hmm.
when filmmakers do that. I like it
Yeah.
when the same actor who plays them as a kid plays their kid. I like that. I don't know why I like that. Um, most recently, I don't like the filmmaker, but I liked the movie Vox Lux. Um, Brady Corbett's movie.
I was gonna say, isn't that the guy who did The Brutalist?
Yeah, Brady Corbett. That one, it's actually the girl who's in Killing of a Sacred Deer, the daughter. Um, she plays
Oh,
Natalie
okay.
Portman in the beginning, and then she plays Natalie Portman's daughter for the rest of the movie.
That's cool.
I like that.
Well,
I don't know why, but I like it.
and I think it also, because I had that same thought. I was like, I like that, and I wonder if like James Woods and this kid like exchanged notes. Like, well, this is how I was playing Max,
Mhm.
uh, because I like that too. But it also gives a good through line to let us know, like, to cue the audience in, like, oh, they're related in some way.
No, of course,
Also, Sergio Leone nailed it on the casting.
I
The
agree.
younger versions versus the adult versions, killer.
Well, and I felt bad for the kid who played Cockeye because I like William Forsythe looks like that. Like that's just what he looks like. Uh, like the kid
Yeah,
had to squint his eye for God knows how long. You know,
I know.
there's no way that kid's got an eye like that.
I know. Yeah, yeah. um, but yeah. Okay. So I want to talk about the the kind of question that we brought up sort of at the top of the show, which is, was this all just an opium fueled hallucination? Personally, I kind of fall in the middle, which is, I believe that this is what happened 35 years later. But also, I do kind of lean a little bit on the hallucination because for me, it would give an answer to why isn't Deborah still mad
Sure.
at Noodles?
Okay. Yeah.
Because, of course, in his hallucination, well, it's like, oh, well, she will have forgiven me in 35 years.
Well, and I'm not even
I
saying
wouldn't
that
have.
Deborah forgave him. No way. But like she still hates him.
More.
But it's like it. It'd be the equivalent of like I don't know if there is an equivalent. I mean, it'd be
I don't think there is one.
like someone murdered your mom, and then they come and just like they come and see you 35 years later, and you're like, hey, like I'm still mad at you. It's like you wouldn't even you'd be horrified, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So for me, because I'm not trying to justify Noodle's actions against Deborah, but maybe at least thematically, it would make sense why in
sure.
Noodle's vision she wouldn't have been like, get the fuck out. I don't ever want to see you again.
Well,
Uh
and then if you want to play it, I see. I just like. I think that Leone just wanted a bookend, and so
mhm.
he starts in the middle, he'll end in the middle, right?
Yeah.
Um, and I like that. I mean, it's just like, structurally, it's a cool move. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. I love when a filmmaker does a good bookend.
yeah,
Um
he doesn't want to end at the end. That's kind of boring, and he's already established that this movie is going to be edited and framed differently. Um,
yeah.
and so And we've spent so much time with these people, like,
Yeah.
so it's kind of a cool way to sort of end the whole thing, which, just like ending in the middle of your middle, you know,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
um, which I liked.
So what you're proposing is the 1963 timeline is what really happens.
I think so. I mean, you could argue the hallucination with the sort of uncanny surrealism of, Max just vanishing, um,
Yeah.
and presumably jumping in the truck. Like, James Wood says he gets asked it all the time. like, did he jump in that truck? And James Woods is like, I don't know. you know,
Yeah.
um, it is up to you. And maybe, um, I I kind of I kind of just want to leave it be. Like, I don't need an answer to did he not. I think it's interesting that Leone leaves that up to interpretation. I feel like that's an
Yeah.
interesting choice because it's sort of like comes out of nowhere. Um, but he also used vehicles in meeting Max and then leaving Max, which I
Mm-hmm.
appreciated, right? Um,
Yeah. It's a
used
bookend for that.
it is a bookend for that, which I appreciated thematically. Um, yeah, I mean, by the way, I didn't mean to bring up Brady Corbett like that, but I will say that this movie makes me hate the Brutalist less. Um,
Really?
yeah, it makes that not seem as bad, even though I still do not appreciate it, and I do not like Brady Corbett as a filmmaker. Um, it's
Would Would you say The Brutalist is his only film you can sit through?
I don't know because it's almost a perfect movie. Like, I really
Yeah.
enjoyed it up until then.
Yeah.
Um,
One day, everyone, Zach, we will do an episode on The Brutalist. I
sure.
would love to talk about The Brutalist. I told Mom about it, and I was like, "You have to see it. It's so good." Um, but yeah.
We'll put my review on the
Speaking
website.
speaking of, well, we didn't talk about the runtime. Oh no, yeah, you did.
But
That's
we can talk about the runtime because it's significant.
and I wanted to ask you: had Sergio Leone been able to present this film in his actual version, in his actual vision of two 4 hour long movies, would would one, would you have watched it? Which I think I know the answer. And two, do you think it would have landed the same way that this version did?
I I
I'm
bless
so
you.
sorry.
I think it would have been the 1980s version of The Godfather. I think
Okay.
if he had, because I know I would watch it because I've watched this movie, right? Because I've seen The Godfather Part 1 and 2, and they're they're kissing 4 hours each. Um they're close to 4 hours each. And so, like, if you want to do something like that, I think that if he had been able to do so, I think that, yeah, the Sergio Leone would have his Godfather. Like, that's what it would be. Um, however, unfortunately, um, up until 1990, or 19, maybe it was like 92 or something like that. Um, people had only seen like the 2 hour and 40-minute version of this movie, which
Really?
it
Yeah.
is my understanding that it is unwatchable. Like, it makes no sense. I can't even imagine what a 2 hour 40-minute version of this movie would look like because, like, I'm sure they'd be referencing people we don't know,
Yeah.
or they'd be talking to someone that all their scenes were cut in the flashback, and we're like, who the hell is this? You know, um, I can't imagine. And so it was seen as a failure.
Mhm.
Um, until the 3 hour 49-minute cut, which is the version we saw, was put on VHS in the 90s, and then finally we could see what the movie is and what we were all missing, and then that's when it was considered a masterpiece and this big magnum opus and this epic. I'm pretty sure it's on 2 VHSs. I think it would have to be. But yeah, then there's another one. Then there's I think it's like 4 hours and 10 minutes or something. They just add 20 or 30 minutes. I haven't seen that, obviously, but I can't imagine what they'd add.
Well, before we got started, I was looking to see how much what they refer to as the extended director's cut, which is the actual 4 hour long version.
Yep.
The Blu-ray is $114.
Can I tell you something? When I bought it, it was $5, I think.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was in the $5 bin, I think. Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, because I want to see what this extra added bit is. Because I do want to mention, meant to say this at the top of the show, that even though I really enjoyed the film, that last 40 minutes drags so much, man. Because I'm like, oh,
yeah.
Can I please get the answer now? But I still enjoyed it. I just was like,
no, there are moments.
The pacing.
There are moments in this film where it's sort of like, this scene's a little too long. Like, I don't. Yeah. We don't need to hang around here. We can just move on. You know. Yeah. But of course, it's all about, you know, creating atmosphere and sitting with these characters for longer and making you feel the time, because I think that's also important. Like, this movie spans decades and decades, and so if you feel the time, then it's more emotional when we're jumping time. In the movie, it's sort of like when we saw Babylon. It's like,
yeah,
the time matters. Like, the time, the 3 hours is intentional because we have to feel the nostalgia. We need to feel like, wow, that was a long time ago. You know?
Yeah.
And while things have changed, I think that's sort of what this is. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like I said, I still really enjoyed it, but goddamn. But I still want to see the full 4 hour version. But with that being said, buddy, are you ready to wrap up?
I am. This is one of the few times on my Letterboxd that I've given something a high rating without giving a little heart. I gave it 4 stars. Could have been 5. But yeah, I can't in good conscience say that I like this movie. It really bothered me. And
yeah. Well, and understandable.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe I don't know what's going on. But I just didn't.
Maybe you can revisit it in 35 years,
yeah,
and then be like, okay, now I get it.
Yeah.
Or just be like, nope, I'm still just as mad.
No, I'm not as mad as I've ever been.
Yeah, no, I also enjoyed the movie. I gave it 4 stars as well. I did like it.
Sure,
I
that's
did
fine.
give it a heart.
Yeah. It's my problem. It's not your
problem. Well, like, I want it to be known on record, even though I've said it multiple times. It's a horrific scene, and it made me physically unwell as well.
On purpose. Like, I'm not saying that the scene isn't shot. It is, of course, shot to be uncomfortable and to be terrible, right?
Yeah.
I just don't feel like the rest of the movie treats it that way. That's my.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agreed. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I was telling Ashley about it. I was texting her. I was like, man, this movie's crazy, dude. But yeah, I don't think she would watch it, especially when I told her how long it was. She was like, "Yep, yeah, no, don't want to see that." So.
Oh yeah, I mean, if it's over 2 hours, it's sort of like Haley's not even going to pretend to watch. That's like she's
like, no, I'm watching on her phone. I'm watching.
Oh no, we don't play those games. It's just like she's just not interested. And that's fine.
Like, yeah, that's cool. Well, buddy, are you ready to hear about what we're going to talk about next week?
I am.
Because I think you're going to be really excited.
I hope so.
So next week, everyone, I want to mention too, we're getting close to the end of this this season, which is pretty rad.
Yeah, it's exciting.
I always start to get really excited when we start a season, and then when we get close to ending a season, I get really excited.
Yeah,
because starting a new season is always fun, because it's like, all right, what is the theme going to be from that season?
Mm-hmm.
But then as we get closer to the end, it's like, oh man, like we only got a few more movies till we wrap everything up. But yeah, so next week we're talking about a movie that you told me that you're really excited for, and that got me excited, and I was like, yeah, cool, yeah, I think we'll do that. But then I changed my mind, and so instead, next week we are talking about the 1977 William Friedkin remake of Wages of Fear. Jeremy, we're talking about Sorcerer next week.
Cool. That's exciting.
Did you think I was going to say Anora?
No. I thought you were going to do Throne of Blood, and I was like, I'm excited for Throne of Blood.
Well, no, I genuinely was like, yeah, you know what? Sure. Yeah, we'll do Throne of Blood. But then, like, looking at it, I was like, you know what? Fuck it, man. Let's do Sorcerer.
Yeah.
Like, let's just jump into that.
Okay. So I've seen this. I've seen Sorcerer.
Okay.
I have a feeling it's going to blow your mind. Because you're like, are they in danger? Like, for real? Like, like some of these set pieces, some of these shots, you're like, I don't know how they do it. I, to this day, don't know, unless, like, for real, these guys were about to die. Like, I don't understand, Well,
I mean, it is William Friedkin, so, you told me about that this was getting a Criterion release, and you're like, dude, I'm so excited. And I'm like, well, if Jeremy's excited, I should be excited too. Bought it, and then when it was a late addition to my list. I asked you, I was like, should I watch The Wages of Fear before I watch this? And you're like, I mean, unless you just want to,
you can. I mean, it's really good. Like, I mean, it's not like,
I mean, it's on my list. I do want it. But you were like, you don't have to watch it to understand Sorcerer. But when I got my 4K in, I was like, this packaging, it's rad. And man, I'm excited. We haven't done a William Friedkin movie, and Bug was William Friedkin, right?
Yeah, and we didn't do Killer Joe. I think we just did Bug. So
yeah, we haven't done Killer Joe. We especially have not done your shirt either.
Oh yes, I'm wearing it.
Yeah. But yeah, man. So next week, Sorcerer.
That's exciting. Cool.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode on Once Upon a Time in America, and we'll see you next week for Sorcerer.